Well, my name is Denise, and I live in Evans. And I lost my oldest son in December 2018 to suicide. My son Doug was 27, and he had been a soldier for 8 years. He'd served in Iraq and been to Korea multiple times. When he came back from Iraq, he told us he had PTSD, but he seemed pretty much the same to all of us, his friends and family. The same old Doug who loved being goofy and he loved cats and just hanging out with friends. But evidently there were a lot of things in Doug's life I was unaware of, and thoughts he was having that I didn't know about, that I wish I had known. I was expecting Doug to come home on leave and spend a month with us for Christmas, so I was getting ready for that. And he had just gotten back from Korea and been back about a month. And so he was going to be due home in 5 days. And I saw that weekend before he came, or was going to come, a post on Facebook he had put some very depressing, down song lyrics. But I'd seen that young people tended to do that all the time, so I kind of brushed it off and thought, this is really dark. But it's just young people doing what young people do. Maybe he's depressed about a girl or something, but it's fine. He'll be home in 5 days and he'll forget it. So, I don't want to bother him. It would be embarrassing to ask. I don't want to seem like the over-concerned, meddling mother. So I ignored it and just carried on. But then on the evening of December 17th, I found out he had been found dead in his apartment off base. A self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was in Oklahoma at the time at Fort Sill, and the military came and informed us. And I was shocked and thought, this can't be. He seems happy. He had a lot going for him, a lot to look forward to, and he had plans. I thought people don't kill themselves if they are making plans, and he has plans to come here and be with his friends, so it must be a mistake. But over the following months, I got a hold of his diary and realized and read in there he'd been having suicidal thoughts for years, and I had no idea. And he had depression about various issues. He'd taken medication for depression and anxiety years prior and quit. Just decided he didn't like the way they worked and he quit. So, we found out that yes, it was true. It had been a suicide. And so then I love to read, and so I started reading everything I could about suicide, trying to understand what was he thinking? How could he do this? And so I learned everything I could and started to realize that a lot of things fit his personality, certain warning signs, risk factors. It was all there. And I wish I had known that. If I had known then what I know now, I feel like I would have been more open with him, questioned him more, especially when he made that depressing Facebook post, would have reached out to him more often. I wouldn't have just assumed. He looks happy in his pictures, and that's not necessarily the case. I know we all put on fake faces sometimes, but I just assumed everything's fine, and it was not at all. He'd been struggling for years, and I had no idea. So now I just want everybody to know, to learn about it, watch for warning signs. And nowadays, if someone says something a little odd, I think, well, in the past I would have thought I don't want to look like an idiot, questioning or nosy or like I'm overreacting. But now I just overcome that and say, no, it's worth it. Don't take the risk. Just ask, just in case. And so now I do that. If anybody says something off the wall or just questionable, I ask people far more often, how are you doing? How are you really doing? And so I don't want anything like this to happen to another family. So now it's kind of been one of my things over the last 3 years since this happened, trying to get involved in suicide prevention and do what I can to get the word out, because I feel like if everybody knew what I know now about suicide, they could potentially save one of their own friends or family members in a way that I couldn't.